Welcome to Jay Moore's Weekend Agenda on Facebook Live, coming to you from Hamden. Tell us about your weekend plans in the comments field below. Like, share, and follow at #JayMooreWeekend. I am Amanda, and I'm here with our old friend Seth Kibel. Hello, Seth.
Hey, Amanda. Good to be back.
It's so great to have you back. I'm glad you were able to come. So the reason we wanted you to join us today is to talk about your campaign for HIAS. For those who aren't familiar, can you tell us what HIAS is and why you chose them for a fundraiser?
Well, first a little background on HIAS. It's the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, and they have a over 100-year history. They were founded back in 1881, and for much of their history, HIAS assisted Jewish refugees coming to the United States from Eastern Europe, escaping the pogroms, escaping other forms of persecution in Europe. They tried to help Jewish refugees in the lead up to World War II, but American immigration quotas made that extremely difficult. So a long, rich history, but then around the 2000s or so, they began to really expand their reach.
Right.
And now they work to assist, advocate for, and resettle refugees from all over the world, from war-torn parts of the region in Africa, in the Middle East, in Asia. And the work they do is just truly remarkable. I heard an interview with Mark Hetfield, the president of HIAS on CNN, and the thing that he said that really stuck with me is he said, when we started, we helped refugees because they were Jewish.
Right.
And now we help all kinds of refugees because we are Jewish.
I love that.
Yeah, it really, really moved me. So
Repair the world, right?
what happened is last Saturday when the Pittsburgh shooting happened. Like everyone else, I was very shaken about it. It's a traumatic thing to hear about that happening. I mean, I was actually driving down to play a bar mitzvah in where is it? In Arlington, Virginia, and I have this awful habit of listening to CNN in the car. I shouldn't, because it just makes me an even more agitated driver.
Probably.
But I'm listening, and they're doing all the coverage of the serial bomber. And as I'm getting to the location in Arlington, they have to interrupt the breaking news about the serial bomber for the breaking news of a mass shooting. And then I was playing this bar mitzvah, and all through the bar mitzvah, I'm getting the breaking news updates about what's happening in Pittsburgh. And, between every song, I'm kind of glancing at my phone, and there's a new breaking news update. And it's just heartbreaking to try to play at this, happy, joyous occasion as a musician when that's going on. And then when it was over, I got in my car and listened to CNN on the way back, and by that point, they already knew the shooter's name, and a lot of stuff was starting to come out about the shooter. And one of the things that came out they were talking about is how he specifically was targeting Jews because of his hatred and fear of refugees.
Right.
And that he felt Jews were helping refugees, and he apparently singled out HIAS.
Yes.
This organization as an object of his online vitriol, his online hatred, and that was a big motivating factor. And they were actually interviewing some people from HIAS in the car, and I was driving back to Baltimore, and I was just, you feel helpless in a situation like that.
Right.
So I thought, is there anything I can do? And I thought, well, you know what? Let me give some money to HIAS. And I thought I was just going to make a contribution. And because they're a wonderful organization. But then I thought about this Facebook fundraising stuff that they rolled out, a few months ago to prove that, hey, we're not really that evil, only kind of evil.
Yeah.
I say as I'm in the middle of a Facebook Live broadcast.
Yeah.
I had never done one of these before. I'd given to a few, but I'd never tried one of these Facebook fundraisers. But I'm saying, well, you know what? Why not? Why don't I do it that way? Sure. And maybe I can get some other people to contribute. So I actually pulled into a parking lot of like a strip mall in like Lanham, Maryland or something, and set up my phone as a hotspot, got out my laptop. This is while I'm listening to all the coverage on CNN, and I looked up the Facebook fundraiser stuff, and HIAS was one of the approved charities.
Cool. Yeah.
They had it on there, so I'm like, all right, let me do this. So I set up the fundraiser.
And yours was one of the first things I saw.
Yeah.
That's why you're here, because I spotted
this was
it.
Literally hours after the shooting.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, Seth is on this.
So I set up the fundraiser, and one of the things it says, it asks you a couple of questions. One of those is, what's your goal for the fundraiser? And I thought, well, I don't know. I don't know how much money it's going to raise. But I set $1,000 as a goal. I thought that was pretty ambitious.
Okay, that's a nice gift.
And then for your initial donation, it says, do you want to make this a matching donation so that you will match X number of dollars?
Oh.
So I said, okay, I'll match the first $100 of donations. I figure, well, that'll be $200 right there. Good start.
Yeah.
And I did it.
Yeah.
And literally, I set it up before I left the parking lot. That $100 had already been met. Within an hour, by the time I got home, the fundraiser was over $1,000.
That's fantastic.
I was just floored by the response. And now we're less than a week. We're about 6 days in. When I last left home, the total was $6,841 raised.
Wow.
They keep on telling me in big letters that's 684% of my goal. We've had 183 donations. 90 people have shared it.
That's wonderful.
It's just been so heartening to see, and people of all walks of life. I mean, lots of friends of mine, people I don't know before, because other people have shared it, but friends of mine, people who aren't Jewish, people who are young, people who are old, people who I know don't have a lot of money giving. I even got a $100 contribution from a friend of mine who is a pretty vocal supporter of Donald Trump.
What?
But he wrote this lovely note about. Okay. I know. But he, to his credit, he wrote this lovely note about how he was heartbroken by what had happened in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's the human reaction.
And it really touched me that even though we have very different political views, he decided to lend his support.
That
so
it's
just
excellent. I want to interrupt you real fast
please
because
do.
I want to note that HIAS is headquartered in Silver Spring.
Yes, that's right.
That's something, I just want to put that out there. And also, I'm guessing as Jews in America, probably many of us were directly helped by HIAS at some point.
That's another interesting thing. All these people who contributed shared stories on my fundraiser.
Yes.
I mean, I got a couple of quotes here. There's this guy Eugene contributed. He said, "I was 5 years old when HIAS helped my family out of the Soviet Union into what seemed like heaven, the warm, close-knit quaintness of Highland Park, New Jersey." I don't think anyone's ever described New Jersey as heaven, but still that was moving. Bob Schwartz said, "If not for HIAS, I wouldn't be here. They arranged my father's passage in 1899. Beverly Kloss, "My parents came to this country through HIAS in 1950. Oh my goodness. This woman, Judy Burke, wrote, "This is the organization that was responsible for bringing me here from Germany as a refugee in 1941.
Exactly.
So HIAS literally saved her life. Literally saving lives. It's just
there's nothing bad about this organization.
Inspiring. I know.
Nothing. Explain to people how they donate to you and how long are you going to keep this up for?
The fundraiser is initially going to end tomorrow. I might extend it a few days. We'll see. But if you go to my Facebook page, you can look for Seth Kibel, or you can go to my public musician page, which is just search Seth Kibel Music on Facebook. I think it's Facebook.com/Seth Kibel Music, and the fundraiser is on there.
And I will put the link up on this after the show
But I will say this, one of the other gratifying things about this is if you go to HIAS's Facebook page, you see a huge long list of other people who had the same thought that I did and did the same exact thing right around the same time, and all of them are raising remarkable amounts of money.
Thousand.
So, I mean, it's a horrible tragedy.
Yes.
And nothing can take away from the loss and the hurt and the fear and the pain that everyone is experiencing right now. But the fact that an organization like HIAS, the very organization this shooter hated, the motivation for his violence,
is getting support,
is going to be able to help countless more people, is really kind of gratifying.
Yeah, and kind of backfired for him.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
Good.
So,
Right. I'm going to call you out because this is not your first fundraiser. It's not your first rodeo.
True.
You've done a lot of help for natural disasters. I think, what was your or national disasters, either or. Your last thing was maybe Hurricane Hugo?
Well, I played with Sonia of Disappear Fear for I think it was a Hurricane Harvey. Benefit. I mean, not to benefit the hurricane, but to benefit the people impacted by the hurricane.
I can't keep my hurricane straight, but yes. To help the people who were victims of the hurricane.
I mean, I this thing, I put so much snark and so much shameless self-promotion on Facebook. It was kind of nice to use my Facebook feed for good rather than evil for a change.
Okay, you're not using it for evil, but you definitely have the snark going on. There's a lot of snark here. Any of you familiar with Seth's music will recognize there's some snark happening. So what about thoughts on maybe some sort of other concert?
Well, I do have some other events coming up. I got a concert coming up this Wednesday, November 7th at Ondi Music Live, which is that great music venue, right in Mount Vernon, near Peabody. And that's going to be a concert with a great vocalist I work with, Flo Anito, and a pianist, Sean Lane. And we're going to do a real mix of stuff, some jazz standards, some of our original music, some of which is political, and probably some klezmer as well. So check that out. And then I'm really excited about a big concert at the end of the month. Well, sort of the end of the month. November 23rd, the day after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I'm at Creative Alliance.
Nice.
And it's going to be a double bill with a good friend of mine from New Orleans, this guy, Greg Schatz. Oh my goodness, Greg Schatz. So he's the musician who's sharing the bill with me. He contributed to this fundraiser. And when he contributed, he said, and I've known him for years, his parents were from Pittsburgh and got married in Pittsburgh, and I believe got married in the temple. So he shared and contributed. But anyway, it's a double bill with him and my full band. It's going to be an incredible concert. Lots of jazz, lots of New Orleans style of music, blues, all different types of music. A little bit of klezmer because I can't get away from it. And that's the day after Thanksgiving. So people are always looking for things to do with the mishpucha.
It's a big party night.
You know, and it's great because you can come party, you can come dance, you can come listen, and you get to do something with your family without having to converse with them.
Well, they don't. You can leave them at home.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Go out to
That's
Creative
true.
Alliance.
That's true.
So the Ondi Music Show is the day after the election?
Yes, that's right.
Huh.
Oh, and I do have a new CD out.
I imagine there will be some snark. Give me that.
Well, this CD is not as snarky. This CD is a complete opposite of my last CD, which is very political. This is an instrumental CD of all jazz and Yiddish standards. It's called When You're Smiling. It's kind of a feel-good album. Lots of, On a Sunny Side of the Street, Mein Stetler Bells, and Shane Vidi Lavona and stuff like that. Yeah.
Aw. Wow, this is nice.
This is the CD if you want to escape from the politics. Okay. This is a better choice.
So you don't think you're going to get into any snark at that Ondi Music
Show? We might. We might.
I would expect nothing less.
Yeah, there'll be at least some.
Hang out with me for a
second.
Bet. If you are just joining us, you are watching J Moore's Weekend Agenda on Facebook Live. Tell us what you are doing this weekend in the comments field below. Like, share, and follow at #JMooreWeekend. We are here with musician Seth Kibel, who started a fundraising campaign for HIAS following last Saturday's tragic events in Pittsburgh. You can donate. I will put the link up after this show. Let me just run down some of the weekend's top events. I don't want to change this over to Traittville, but let's tell some people what else they can go do if they're not spending the whole weekend in Shul, which most people are going to Shul tonight because there's a whole all-encompassing, everyone's invited service. Yes. So find a synagogue and go because everyone's going. It doesn't matter if you've never stepped inside a synagogue before. Everyone's welcome. Okay, so I do know Simone's not here because she's got to run out and do a lot of coverage, but she attended a Beautiful Boy screening last night, and she said it was really fantastic. That's the movie with Steve Carell and...
oh, right.
And it's about addiction, a father-son's memoirs. She said it was really fantastic, so definitely go check that out. All right, so we have the Charm City Fringe Festival at the Bromo Arts District. You can celebrate cutting-edge and quirky theater with 11 days of performances at many locations. That's through November 11th. Tonight, you can meet the makers Made in Baltimore Fair at Sagamore Pendry. Enjoy an evening of local shopping, cocktails, and more. You can get a jump on your gift list with art, print, stationery, etc. That's from 5 to 8:30. The Shining is playing at the Parkway. Love
Johnny.
Love that movie. Kubrick at 90 Celebration continues with the screening of the 1980 Jack Nicholson Shelley Duvall classic, and that's at 9:30. I have always been fascinated by her wardrobe in that movie because it's utterly bizarre. I know it's a different era, but she's running around in overalls and moon boots, and it's just strange. Friday and Saturday, there's a movie with orchestra. You should do one of these. Nightmare Before Christmas at the Meyerhoff. Nightmare Before Christmas, a good movie for this time of year. The BSO presents Tim Burton's Halloween classic with live music accompaniment. That's tonight at 8, Saturday at 3. There's a Baltimore Craft Beer Festival at Canton Waterfront Park. You can sample offerings from a wide selection of Maryland craft breweries, enter or judge a homebrew competition, and enjoy live music and local food trucks. And that's from noon to 5. And I'm just going to note here that Kyle, Glenn, and I just tasted a really delicious beer that includes Getz's Caramel Creams. It was a partnership with Getz's Caramel Creams, and it was a stout, and it was pretty good.
Wow.
I know, so you guys got to look for that because it was yummy. Then Sunday, another scary movie, John Carpenter's The Fog at the Senator. Ooh. I haven't seen this one, and I think it's pretty creepy, so I kind of think everyone should go. But it's at 10 a.m., which is a little early for a creepy. It's a 1980s supernatural thriller, and that also screens Monday and Tuesday. I'm going to tell you about 2 upcoming events that JMOR's involved with. The first is our J-Biz Meetup professional networking event with Treble at Renaissance Fine Arts in Cross Keys, November 7th. Sorry, buddy.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm not going to make it to your show. You're not going to make it to our party.
There's enough people in Baltimore. If half the people in Baltimore go to the JBiz event and half come to my gig,
we're covered.
We're all good.
That is all we need,
yeah.
actually. No, I'm fine with splitting that
that's
audience
fine.
with you. So you need to get tickets and more information. Go to jmoreliving.com/jbizmeetup. Come to our event. We're going to have a blast. The other is the first ever Festival of Jewish Literature. And that's presented by the Ivy and us with readings, talks, other events all over town. And that's November 8th through 18th. You can get a schedule at festivalofjewishliterature.org. Before we wrap up, Seth, anything else you want to talk about? You're doing a great fundraiser for HIAS because of last Saturday's events. You've got about $7,000 so far.
Yep.
People can go to your Facebook page, Seth Kibel.
Yep.
And I'm going to put a link up. Anything else?
That's it. Check me out at SethKibel.com. Come out and say hi sometimes. I always love to see folks and chat with them. And, you can heckle at a show. You can throw things. You can do whatever you like.
You're not going to want to throw things at him, though.
Yeah.
Okay, you've been watching JMOR's Weekend Agenda. Join us here Fridays at 12:30 for more weekend plans. Follow us at #JMORWeekend. Find more events at jmoreliving.com/events. Go to synagogue tonight. Don't forget to vote on Tuesday.
Vote.
Very important.
Vote.
Just vote. All right. We will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.